Welcome back to the Pet Stop. I'm Dr. Brian Voynick. Animal lovers around the whole world have been following the saga of Patrick, the one-year-old pit bull mix found at the bottom of a trash chute in an apartment building in Newark. While Patrick's alleged abuser awaits her day in court, Patrick is in safe hands now, making a slow recovery, but we're happy to have him here on the show. Here with the story is the veterinarian helping nurse him back to health, and that's Dr. Tom Scavelli of Garden State Veterinary Specialists right in Tinton Falls, New Jersey, as well as Lisa Bongiovanni, and she's from the Associated Humane Societies in Newark. She was the first to attend to Patrick. Welcome on the show.
Thank you.
Wow, Lisa, you must have been freaked out seeing
You never grow
the
skin
shape that
thick
this
enough.
guy.
You never grow skin thick enough to see something like this and not, get at your heart.
We do have a picture of him, the way he looked when you first found him, and describe what you saw. Just skin and bones.
Skin
huh?
and bones. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what's the highest level of dehydration you can be alive at. Was his level of dehydration? He was
15,
white,
18%,
pale. His gums were white.
This is shocking. This
No
one, wow.
temperature couldn't raise a temperature high enough to get a reading off of the thermometer. He was bad.
God.
We,
And Tom, he couldn't even lift his head, you were saying. Your neurologist on staff was wondering if he broke his back.
When he came in, he couldn't walk at all. He was, as Lisa said, they stabilized. They did a great job of stabilizing him initially. When he got to us, he had a temp of 96.
Normal, by the way, is 101 to 102 out there.
So at least it could register on a thermometer. He was really, he had a blood count, a hematocrit of 17. So he got 3 units of blood from our blood bank.
He wasn't strong enough to eat a biscuit then, was he?
I would say no. No, he was really,
Nutritional
he was literally
disaster, huh?
just a skeleton, and he really had no strength at all for any motor activity or even.
And zero muscle mass, huh?
No.
zero.
Yeah.
Because you're showing me that the muscles around his hip area now, saying it's impressive, and boy, there's hardly anything there, but there was nothing there, I guess, at first.
You could see his pelvic bones, his ribs, his scapulas on his front legs, every skull bone on his head.
So, Lisa, do you see a lot of animal abuse in your profession?
We see enough. We see enough. Not to this degree, but we've seen enough of it.
Is his story going to change some legislation, do you think, in the state?
Well, they're speaking about it probably all over the country. That there is the Patrick movement, it's called, and people are getting on board to try to get tougher legislation for the perpetrators.
So
of
you
these
found
crimes.
him, what, a day before St. Patrick's Day? Is that the deal?
Yeah. He had another name before you went there, but
wasn't
that's
sure.
okay.
Is that
That's okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
What
great.
a good boy, Patrick. Well, that's just amazing. Dr. Scavelli, what did it take to get this guy in this shape to begin with?
Well, clearly he obviously hadn't eaten at any reasonable level for months. I mean, it obviously could even been longer than that, but this didn't just happen over weeks. This
Absolutely
is
not.
months of starvation.
Well, it's hard to believe. You actually said that he's probably a little older than a year old.
Yeah, I
according
think
to
he's
his
probably,
dentition and all.
with his dental arcade, is probably somewhere right between 2 and 4 years of age.
Oh
And,
my God.
and he's got a long way to go, Brian. You've seen him walk around the studio here. He's very weak in the back end.
But when I saw him outside the studio, he was pulling on the leash. So
Yeah.
it was very impressive.
Every day
Yeah.
he gets stronger and a little more coordinated. He has trouble with stairs still.
How's his baseline, liver and kidney function now?
They're all normal.
No kidding.
The only thing that he has persistently is that he's got low proteins.
Sure.
His last albumin was 1.9, and he does have a little bit of fluid in his abdomen, which is just, on cytology is most likely due to his hypoproteinemia. So,
Yeah, it must have been loaded with roundworms too, huh?
his fecal was negative. We prophylactically
Probably no nutrition for the
wormed
worms
him.
to eat in there, really. When you
Yeah.
think of it, he was so malnourished.
But we wormed them anyway, obviously, just in case.
Sure. And so how much longer do you think he'll be at the Garden State Veterinary
I'd
Specialist?
say probably another couple of weeks. So
Okay.
we want. He's got a GI. He has a gastric foreign body. He had an
does.
ultrasound, and he probably was eating anything obviously
Yeah.
when he was starved. And so our plan is to, when he's strong enough to be anesthetized, to anesthetize him and to scope him and with endoscopy remove the foreign body. We don't want to
Terrific.
put him under prematurely.
Sure. What do you think it is that's in there? Hard to tell?
We really have no
Yeah.
clue. It could be a part of a toy.
Yeah. The funniest one that I ever saw was an X-ray, and you saw just metallic objects. I didn't know what it was, and it turned out to be a refrigerator magnet of a dog with a big magnet on the head. I gave it back to the owner. I cleaned it up after the surgery, after I took it out of the stomach, and I said, "Well, here's your refrigerator magnet back." They said, "Well, I've never seen that before in our life." Dog must have scarfed it up
Right,
on the
right,
curtain.
right.
You just never know what these dogs are going to eat.
Yeah.
So you're eating some good nutrition now, aren't you?
He's got a great appetite.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
You know, he had a great appetite the first day. I was out of the room, and I heard one of my technicians say, "Good boy, you like that? You want some more?" And I came out, couldn't believe that the dog had eaten. You know, he wanted to live.
So you've gotten to know him pretty well. How's his personality?
You know, Brian, with all he went through, for as long as he went through it, you would think he would be fearful of people,
Yeah.
but it's just the opposite. He's very trusting. He loves to be around people. Our nurses have really obviously taken to him and him to them, and he really loves to interact with people, and he's very engaging. You know, he's not like he shies away.
Right.
He really wants to be around people, even though people didn't do him justice the first go around. But
We
we're
had our
making up for it
behaviorist,
now.
Dr. Emily Levine, would have been shocked to see that he doesn't have trepidation around strangers.
You can see how relaxed even here
Yeah.
with your staff.
And I believe that when you rescue dogs, they have this gratitude somehow. I think that's the best word to describe
the
it.
truth.
And they really are so attached.
Yep.
They're so committed. And so, who got that lucky collar? Was that your wife, Patty?
Well, he's gotten, you can't believe.
Oh yeah, he must have a costume closet now.
Every day there's
Uh-huh.
20, 30 boxes of deliveries. I mean, it's Christmas every day for him. He's
I
got
bet.
tons of collars and coats and toys and biscuits and food. And I mean, we've gotten, in the 2-3 weeks we've had him, he's had over 300,000.
So he's in need of
Facebook.
nothing at this point, is
Yeah,
it?
no, from material things, no.
All
He just
right.
needs a little more groceries and a little more weight gain. and
Dr.
he'll be
Scavelli,
fine.
thanks so much for sharing the
Thank
story.
you.
Dr. Bongiovanni, thanks for picking this poor guy up and doing what you
My
did to give him
pleasure.
emergency care. It's amazing stuff, and what an amazing dog. And hopefully this will do something to prevent animal abuse.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Folks, now it's time for our pet of the week. And these pictures come to us from Stephanie in Edison. And this is her 1-year-old Border Collie Lab mix named Monty. The family adopted Monty from North Carolina after spotting him on Pet Finder, our original New Jersey website. They say it was love at first sight, but since their last name is Monty, that sealed the deal. Monty is a bundle of energy and loves running around his large backyard. He especially enjoyed playing in all the snow that we got this past winter. The family recently adopted a 3-month-old kitten, and the two have become such good buddies that they've named the kitten Buddy. The two of them are best friends. They play all the time and even cuddle together. Stephanie hopes to turn Monty into a therapy dog, and for that, we're making him our pet of the week. We love therapy dogs. Thanks so much for those pictures. If you'd like your pet to be pet of the week, send us some pictures or videos. You can mail them to the address that you see on the screen, or email them to thepetstop@news12.com. But be sure to tell us why your pet should be pet of the week. We'll be right back with this week's adoptees. Stay with us. Debut.